You still need power, don't you?
I do, yeah. It's not quite. Can you guys read that?
Yes.
Is that too small?
No, I think we're all set.
Okay. Okay, am I ready to start?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Norman Aiken. I'm currently the undergraduate advisor for the economics department. A job I like because I get to meet a lot of students. I actually like students, so that's a good thing, huh? So, how many of you are students either just changed into economics as a major or interested in economics as a major? So we have two? Okay. That's usually the case, because economics is a major that has a lot of students interested in it, but not all of them can come at a particular time. And secondly, it's for freshmen to think about for a while before they come into the major. But what I thought I would start out with is the national trend in economics, and that is it's way up. It's the top. This is in 2005 Wall Street Journal. It's basically one of the fastest growing majors in the country, and there's this clear explosion in economics, especially at the top schools in the country. Now, economists, I guess, will be figuring that out, but I didn't see any clear single explanation for it. So you have to think about why that might be the case. And some of the facts I can give you, for example, is that let's say you wanted to go to one of the top master's programs, Masters of Business Administration programs in the country. Well, you would find, for example, that MIT, the top two undergraduate majors at MIT are math and economics. Well, why would that be? Why wouldn't they want a school of management major? Their answer is, we don't want somebody who's already been taught at an undergraduate level because we teach a different kind of business program. We teach different courses. We want people who can do math and statistics, so they better have some background. And economics is a subject that has students who've learned to think rationally, to build models, to understand models, how the economy works in those models. And therefore, that's who we want to come to our institution. There was actually this last year, if you're a freshman, you wouldn't have seen it, but last year on the homepage of the university's website, there was a feature on a former economics major. She currently owns and runs a huge electrical firm that's been employed with a big dig, but I don't think she had any problem with the breakdown in the tunnel. She put the wiring in. The lights seemed to be working. She was an undergraduate major here. She left here. She got a couple of jobs in government as an economist. She didn't like them. But what she did is she was walking down the street one day and she saw, this is a long story, but it's an interesting one. She was walking down the street one day and she saw an ad, would you like to be an electrician? And she took the ad and she went in and she got training in electrical work and she worked as an electrician. And then the company she was working for went bankrupt. The company, the structure company, electrical contractors went bankrupt. And she went in to a bank. She got a loan. She bought the company. And then, think about this, she applied to the Harvard Business School and got in. Why? Harvard Business School only wants people or CEOs or high level in companies because they want people there that are already knowledgeable about how to run a business. She got in, she got her I think it was a master's degree from Harvard, and then she ran this company, and it's a very successful company. So there's another success story, but it was somebody who was creative, could see the connections. So I think economics is a rising major because it's interesting, it's fascinating, it deals with current problems and current issues, and it gives you skills that will be useful, and it's a major that's sought out by the major business, the doctoral and master's programs in the major university doctoral and master's programs in the country. So that's what I had to say about how good the major is. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the requirements, and then you can ask me questions. And feel free to do it. And I'm also available during the week as an advisor. I'm here on Monday. I'm sorry, I'm not here on Monday. I'm here on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I do have office hours, so if you want to come in at some point and talk about it or ask me questions, that would be great. The two of you, how many, are you in the major yet? Or are you just looking at it? Okay. So do you know what it takes to get into the major, right?
Yeah, I mean, I already finished most of it, but...
Okay, do you know what it takes to get into the major? So I don't have to go through that. Let me just stop for a moment and ask, maybe you have some questions that have been kind of going through your mind about the major. What interests, what questions do you have about it, or what areas do you want me to maybe amplify a little bit?
Well, as I told one of the guys over there, I was also interested in doing maybe a possible double major with political science, or maybe a minor. Would that be the best choice if I wanted to do, say, 2 majors or a major and minor?
It depends. I think it depends a lot on what your kind of career options are, what your thoughts are,
Well, I was thinking more or less like international.
So, well, the great thing about a university of this size is there are a lot of phenomenal departments. So you can't make a mistake by taking courses in this field or that field, because they'll be good courses that will add to your diversity of interest and background, which will be helpful in the job market. I think international is a very important area. There's so many things that are important that you can't do them all. So you won't be able to get them all done. A lot of students seem to be trying because they got one major, minor, and a certificate here and so forth. I think, to me, undergraduate school, except for a couple of majors, and those majors are accounting and engineering and maybe computer science, those 3 majors are pretty focused. So when you leave, you got a certain set of skills. There'll be people lined up to give job offers. But the rest of our majors are more broadly based, including economics. They give you a more breadth, a larger breadth of an education than the narrower ones like accounting. And so there won't be people lined up to give you job offers, and you have to accept that fact. But you will put together a statement of what you know, what you're interested in, and that will be a cover letter or an application to a website and so forth. You will package yourself, and that's important to know, because you then want to start thinking, now, what is it I want to do when I leave? And you probably won't know. I didn't know. I would say most students really don't know when they leave the university what they want to do. This woman I'm talking about didn't know she wanted to be an electrician, but she became an electrician, and then she figured out, hey, I know a lot of economics. I know more than the people that were running this company. They're bankrupt. I can see where they went wrong. I was working for it. I know what they did wrong. I'm going to buy it. She took a big risk, borrowed the money, but she didn't know. She didn't know how to run this company. She had figured it all out working on the bottom. So she put together that, and she made a fortune out of it. So it's a matter of kind of what you want, and I wouldn't worry so much about, whether you want to minor in this or whether you want to get a certificate in that. At this point, I would say, just take things that interest you. Take things that interest you. There are certain courses, in economics, the courses that you need are required. So you have a 103, 104, 203, 204. You need to know micro theory, you need to know macro theory. And then there are a lot of choices out there, upper level courses. This department is wonderful, it's diverse. It's got faculty with all kinds of different viewpoints in it. You can almost get a whole breadth of knowledge in the department. We have Marxian economics, we have courses in Japan, we have all of these courses. And then you can maybe combine with political science. There might be an area, you might be an area specialist, you may be interested in China. Then there's languages you can bring together with your interest. So there's an endless opportunity here. And I just think that being an undergraduate, especially in a liberal arts major, is a wonderful thing, because you're less tied down to learning specific, fixed content, and you can explore, and in your own mind you can try this, you can try that, you've got some flexibility. I do think my own experience has been that I think in addition to the economic theory which we teach, you should try different courses so you get a breadth. But the other thing you should really take, and that is, I believe, econometrics is probably one of the courses that's most important. It's not really taught in our department because Razak teaches it, but they do a very good job. They have 2 distinguished teaching award winners teaching it there, and they're very good. And the reason econometrics is so important is when you take a statistics course, those early statistics courses are teaching basically probability theory. And they're teaching distribution, population distributions, sampling distributions, whether this sampling distribution is different from that one. That's a good basic thing to have. But if you think about economics, economics builds models. Those models predict outcomes. Every economic model has more than one independent variable. Regression analysis, which is what econometrics is multivariate statistical analysis, allowing you to measure the effect of several simultaneous independent variables. That's business models, that's government models, aggregate demand models, aggregate supply models, because a lot of independent variables are involved. So if you don't understand econometrics, you probably won't understand these complex models that have more than one predictor. And that's why I would say take it after you finish statistics. If you can fit it into your schedule, take the econometrics course. I did not take econometrics when I was an undergraduate or even a graduate student. When I came here, I was fortunate enough, as a young newbie PhD, didn't have my PhD. We had a great professor in the department who was teaching econometrics as a course. And that enabled me to just jump way ahead in my own research, to be able to do statistical research which I could publish in major journals. So that was very helpful to me, and it's probably a good course. And I have to say that I do think an introductory accounting course is valuable too, at least one semester of accounting. Why? Because in economics and many of the fields that you can get into from economics, data analysis is critical. Work for the Department of Labor, what do? They do data analysis. They're measuring and they're predicting with models. What does the Department of Commerce do? Data analysis. That's what we do. And if you can do it, you're going to be that much further ahead in terms of jobs. So I would try and build that into your experience. Okay? I have a strong view about that because I think it's very important. I think also the math background that you do, the calculus is good too, because economics, in one way or another, has a math basis. But there's also opportunities in economics that go beyond math. Statistics, I shouldn't think that economics is only. We have a big debate in the United States and the world about what economies should look like, how should they be run, what's the role of government, what's the role of the private sector. That happens in our department, and it's a good thing. So I think I've taken more than my time. You have any more questions, either of you? Huh? Okay. Okay, good. I didn't mean that. As well. So, John, I'm going to have to take a break because I have to make a couple phone calls and then I'll come back a little bit later, okay?
So, which is the can you just have
No, you can take mine. Thanks a lot.
So, what year? then you can't get like you don't get an internet. What's your name?
No, I know, I have the
Bill?
thing.
Oh, you have it already. You sent it there and then just plug it in.
Yeah, here it is actually.
I'm actually undergrad right now. Yeah, I'm gonna put like I want to learn some school. I want to see if I can minor. If I can build an agent. A lot of people do SLM.
PowerPoint, it won't when it's white screen, full screen, on the table. So what I actually did is I converted mine to a PDF.
Oh, then we might want to. Can we use your computer?
Yeah.
Is it return on? Is it return? First Right.
You can do whatever you need to do. We have pizza showing up later, so.
What do you guys do?
Yeah. Oh, now I figured it out.
Is it okay or?
I don't know. You know.
When
Do we
you,
have to reset it?
Oh,
you have to, no, it's fine, when you do it.
All right.
okay. Alright,
So over there,
I'll just start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, who's gonna click though?
Oh,
You want me to click here?
Yeah, it's nothing really too much. But
so are you guys all first years or? Sophomore. Oh, freshman.
Sure.
Well, we are, this is BDEC, and I believe some of you already probably know us, when you were TA before.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dark. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, we are actually teaching assistants in the department, and we are also grad students. And I just basically made a review of the general information that is provided to undergraduate students. And I added some extra information that we got from our advisors. So as we pass along, just stop me, and if something is unclear, just ask your question. Okay. And so as you know, you already know.
start introducing Exo first.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I'll start by introducing EXO. EXO is Economic Graduate Student Organization. So it's pretty much a group of all of us, all the graduate students here in the economics department, and we're pretty much with TAs as well. So you will be seeing a lot of us, and we're kind of the equivalent of this undergraduate group for you guys. So we are looking to work with you we're pretty much trying to create a relationship so we can hear what your needs are in terms of classes, in terms of what's being taught in the department, what's not being taught. And so this is kind of where we fall in this whole thing.
Right. We have an undergraduate economics committee which tries to connect with undergraduate students more and your expectations from the program, and so that we talk to faculty about them and change the program according to what you think is best for you. So, yeah, you all, I guess, know what is economics about. So I can maybe skip that, but I like that definition, so it's about, yeah, it's okay. Like, it's about, I just wrote, like, it's the organization of human energies, right? Like, there are wants in society and there are resources, that basic problematic. And it's about how we organize our societies, basically. It's not just a market function, how do the markets function. It's much more than that, and it's much deeper. And as you go through the program, you actually learn much more about the social institutions and their interactions with the economy itself. And so, yeah.
One great thing about this major, economics as a major, is that no matter what, you can apply it to pretty much anything out there.
Right.
So it serves, even if you don't know what you want to do in life, it's kind of its first step to take. It's not as soft as some majors in the social sciences. I don't know, you guys know some more majors, but economics is kind of like in between. You're not quite a math major, but you're also not, I don't want to say any other major, but it's kind of a semi-strong major, and it allows you a lot of flexibility.
Could you give us any examples of like what kind of careers like a major or minor in economics could lead you to?
Yes, we'll come to career actually. It's towards the end of the. But if you want to give basic.
We can come back to it.
Yeah, we are just. we listed some positions that people took, and I will also try to trace through some of the tracks that you can follow. So I'll try to do that a little bit. In economics we have microeconomics, which deals with household behavior, more focusing on the individual, right? How do the individuals behave? How do they get organized within the firms, within government entities? And macroeconomics gives you a more broad picture, right? Like broad picture meaning that it deals with the whole economy as a whole. How do the aggregate demand determine the performance of the economy, for example, and why do we have crises in the economy, for example? That kind of broad inflation, unemployment, those issues we deal with.
Like why are some countries poor versus rich? Why, what's the kind of big stuff we deal macro?
Yeah, it's about actually everything. And economists have been trying to incorporate different disciplinary elements into economics. Like we try to use sometimes psychology, from concepts from sociology, concepts from philosophy, and it gets richer and richer. And that question, should I study economics, is, it's a very personal decision, and we would like, of course, you to make that decision after you see the advantages and disadvantages of what economics major could give to you, right? And so you'll see, I think, as you take a few courses, you'll see if you are really interested or not. Before you try, you really don't have much idea. So we can proceed. Earlier, yeah. So the requirements, probably you know this, but so you need to take Econ 103 and Econ 104, which are introductory courses, and then you can either take Math 127 or 131. So if you take the smaller ones, they are for basic math. If you take the 131, 132, they are more advanced calculus. So if you plan on going to grad school, for example, you need to take Econ 103 and 101. Econ 131 and 132. Not Econ, sorry, math. You need to take the right-hand side courses, which are more advanced. And so you need to take one statistics course, right, from the following list. And as Professor Aitken said, if you take econometrics in addition to that statistics course, that can also help you publish in journals, and if you want to pursue an academic career, that's very important. Econometrics is a key course. And so in addition to that, you take intermediate macro, intermediate micro, and the junior writing course, and it continues. And then in this part, there are you can take 4 economics courses, right? With the title 3, starting with 300. So among them are some of these that are regularly offered, and some of them are not listed here, which are sometimes extra courses that the faculty offers. Yep.
Does the junior year writing course count as 300 level?
It is outside, I think, isn't it? It is a separate course, although it is starting with 3. Good question. but it is required for as an additional 300 level course. So you can take any 4 of these. So among these you see Marxist economic theory, history of economic thought, lots of political economy courses, right? Which actually uses the basic tools that you learn from 103 and 104, as well as 203 and 204, and apply these tools to various issues, like even developmental issues, for example, which are very interesting. Like international trade, international monetary theory, and so, for example, if you plan on going to the banking business, right, then you can take money and banking courses, international monetary theory, even international trade would be important. Or if you plan on, for example, working at a non-profit organization like national development type organizations, you can take courses related to development of post-independence Africa, for example, or economic development, right? Or comparative economic systems, which will introduce you to different understandings of how economies work in developing countries. Right? In developing countries, most of the textbook models you learn don't work because it's just a whole different world and whole different problems come with them. So you open up to these different, oh, what is going on those parts of the world? What is the problem really? So that also helps your understanding. Okay, and in addition, you take 2 additional courses, either from this list again, or you take a 5-course collateral field, right? So these 2 courses, if you take, you can take 2 of them, or what is a collateral field? Now I'm gonna come to that one. Next slide. Thank you, Jonathan. And the collateral study is basically it's a study that is composed of 5 courses, right? And the aim is to help you use economic principles in different contexts, right? With a different study material. And let's go on. So, for example, if you complete any major, right, in the in addition to economics, that's the collateral study. Any minor counts like that. For example, you said political science, right? If you did a minor in political science, that would be a collateral study, and so you can combine it with economics. Or any certificate program, basically, which are Grameen Interesting Ones, African Studies, Asian, International Relations, Latin American Studies, Near Eastern Studies, right? Information Technology. For example, information technology would be, I think, very important if you plan on working like information technology-based companies. Right? If you make a collateral, then it would improve you to get a job in internet-based, for example, companies. And then public policy and public administration, for example, that field can also help you get into one of these public administration governmental institutions, right? Someplace in government. I know Luis works for the government, so maybe he knows this he works. And then women's studies, you can also do that too. Let's see, completion of okay. Okay, so for example, some people do any 3-credit course in Eisenberg School of Management, right? If you do that, you have sort of a collateral study in management, right? Which can help you to have a career in management-based issues. So I think that's one of the things that people try to do, also just because management is so popular, I guess. But I mean, management is very different from economics, right? In economics, we don't really teach you how to govern an enterprise. We don't teach you, oh, okay, this is how you make money, or this is how you make profits. We just teach you, okay, these are the functions, and if this function has it this way, there will be a profit maximizing situation. But it's more of a modeling type approach. We don't really teach specifics of an organizational understanding. So, like for organizational type understandings, you need management courses. more practical.
Right, but one thing though is when you go to grad school, if you decide to go for management, what they usually look for is that you have the analytical skills, which is what you build here at the econ major. So that's really important. That's what a lot of people they take into like for MBAs or things like that are econ majors, even though they haven't actually taken this management class per se. So
That's true, yeah. And now we can continue. So internship and networking, and so we have a alumni board. Is that misspelled or I don't know? Maybe it is. And so we work with. So alumni is basically the people who graduated from this department, right? And they come here, and I wrote it in the next slide, but every month, right? They'll be coming here to talk to you about, where are you in your study and how we can help you when you graduate. So that's what we mean by networking. Because once you connect to these people, they actually tell you, oh, there's a student I know, you can hire her or hire him. So you get jobs like that. And in addition to that, about internships, we will have please make a note, a detailed explanation on September 21st. And Michael Ash is a professor in our department. He is the one who is mostly doing research on what kind of internships are there, how can we help our students get these internships. Okay, I think there is better about the exo part.
right. So this is kind of what I started with earlier. I don't know, some of you, most of you have been here for a year, and now you have experienced how tough it is to get into some of your intro classes, especially, and we don't like it either. So this is where EXO could work with you guys to try to make sure that more classes are opened up and the interest, let's say, something that's not being offered, but some of you really wanted to, learn about, that something like that is over, right? And we have the resources, it's just a matter of getting things working. So that's where we could work together, EXO and the undergraduate.
Right, next one.
We don't know which one.
The next slide, maybe? Yeah, this
All right.
is about the career.
Oh yeah, so this is about careers. So these are some of the careers that you guys have collected information on, alumni that graduated from here. I guess from what we got, it looks like most people are going to the finance sector as financial analysts or assistants. There were some teachers. It looks like most people are going to the finance sector here after graduating.
Yeah, next one you can go the same as Wisconsin.
So, teachers,
Sales managers.
sales manager, accounting. But like I said, this is a good thing about economics. So you can pretty much go into any field that you want to go into.
Yeah, next slide, maybe. There's even more.
You can pretty much go into it. So I don't know. From my own experience, I would recommend that there are probably 3 things that you could take that would really help you out later. As you go out into the real world and look for a job, math. You really want to have math. If you can deal with it, I definitely recommend taking some math. Even for grad school, it's necessary. You have to have some math. Nowadays, people don't, when you're consider your application without some math. The other thing is writing. You should know how to write. Most economists, unfortunately, don't know how to write, but if you do know how to write, then that really helps you out. So writing skills are key. And the other thing one of the things that helped me at least is in people that are interested in international stuff, try to learn another language. That really helps out. And if you are interested in other things like, environment or any issue, economics affects our lives in many ways. So whatever drives you, just try to match classes outside the department as a minor or something to match your degree, your major in economics. So that really helps out. The other thing is connections. You really need to network with, try to take advantage of people who have graduated from here, from the professors, try to see how you can get internships, and connections are key to get a job. So, let's see, in my case, I get a major in economics and I had a minor in math. I almost got one in French. But so basically, I worked for the government for 4 years after college, doing research. I took math without knowing that it was important. Actually, somehow I ended up not my choice, but well, I guess it was my choice. But somehow it helped. It helped me get in here. So that's why I'm saying I wish someone would have told me when I was an undergraduate that math was important. But it worked out.
Yeah, everybody's experience is different though. For example, I really didn't like math, but our program was really math intensive. So, like for example, linear algebra was required for you to get a degree in economics. So I had to take it. I mean, I had to deal with it, right? And like my professors, when I told them I want to go grad school, he said, don't take any other courses, just take math, right? And I was like, I don't want to. I don't like this course, you know? Is there any other way? And so, like, he wasn't really helpful. And I decided to take a minor in political science instead. And I did that. And I applied this school, which is a heterodox school, right? And the program is really heterodox, meaning it covers many alternative approaches, right? It's very radical. So I really like the program here. So if it's not, even if it's not your choice to take math, I would say, you know, for example, take the ones that are available, and then go with that, I would say. Because, I mean, if it is really torturous to take math, don't take it, you know. It's your life.
Yeah, another thing about this whole career thing is you have to, at the end, you have to do what you want to do. Like, you cannot go into a career just because it makes money. I mean, you work for the first years, but you get burned out. So, when I started college, you know, I didn't even know what I was going to major in, but somehow I ended up being economics. I was thinking more like in management side. I thought I would go to get an MBA in management or something. You know, just after taking some class, I think it was after taking economic development, I realized that was not what I liked, so I ended up doing the more social side of that. Economics. So it changes. You never know where exactly it's going to lead you, but I'm sure.
Right. And whenever you have questions or any information you want to ask, please email us, and we'll always respond. You know, whatever happens. And we even have offices. My office is in this building, 804, and sometimes there or sometimes around there. If you pick up a note there, you know, call me or something. We always reach you. But the easiest way probably just email us and say, you know, I'm a student in econ, so I need information about this issue or that issue, and we'll try to help you out. So, like, I would really suggest you come to the internship meeting and come to the alumni board meeting. Because
what are the dates for those meetings?
for the internship, 21st of
That changed. It's going to be on the 19th at 10 a.m. in the 10th floor conference room 14 above.
Oh, okay. Do you know what day of the week that is? Tuesday.
yeah, if you join their mailing list, right, undergraduate economics club mailing list, they would probably send you join their mailing list maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and the alumni days is really good because we have really good alumni and they're really willing to help everybody out. So that's because let's face it, you got to find somebody who's dumb enough to give you a job once you graduate. So, but no, it's true though. I mean, they're just because they have been in the situation before as undergrads here, and they know that any help you can find, you want it. So they're more than willing to help you, and if they can't help you, they probably know somebody that can help you or know somebody else. So, show up for the alumni thing is good. What's up? No, basically, John, when is the...
November 14th,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
4 to 6 p.m. in Gordon Hall.
Alumni meeting from 4 to 6 in Gordon Hall.
Yeah.
And where's Gordon?
Gordon Hall, you know where Eisenberg is?
Yeah.
It's down the road, right across from Pratt Row. There's a church, and there's a really weird-looking building. That's Gordon Hall.
If you just search, or if you find campus map, it'll be on it. I mean, you got a couple weeks to figure out where it is. So. But yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
Down at campus.
There you go.
How many of those alumni are involved in like economics?
How do you mean, like as their
Not-
job or?
not business, more on economics.
I don't know. There's John. Do we have a figure for that? I
For
can't-
how many actually went into economics?
Yeah.
Not that many. It's a small number. Like last year is probably about 15 students out of 430.
Something like that. But it kind of goes back to what Louise was saying as well. Well, actually, both of you guys were saying is, it's a good foundation. It has higher math requirements than SOM. And like Mr. Aiken was talking about before, it's not as biased. It's basically they don't teach you a style of management. Then it's better to go do your MBA for that and have that specific school teach you their style. I just see it as an overall better foundation when it comes, because it's a broader range. You're not so specific to one area of management per se.
One thing about, if some of you, I know a lot of people worry about like, if you graduate and you want to do real economics or something non-financial, there are jobs out there. But yeah, the government is usually the one to go for it. If you want to do the economic development, or there are non-profits that will do.
Where did you work for the government?
I work for the city of Boston.
Oh.
They have their economic development agency. And I was doing some research. Okay.
Well, I don't. This is another question. It's probably just this is statistics, but like me, I'm undeclared right now because I'm a freshman. But I'm planning on getting into SOM for next year, and like what I would like to do is major in management, and then I would like I'd minor in economics, and like would you know how many people do that?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Well, I'd say half SLM.
Oh, okay.
So that's why our 203, 204 intermediate classes are the hardest to get into. I would say the first day, as soon as you get your appointment, try and get into that class, because those classes are hardest to get. As a minor, you only have to take one of the intermediate courses.
Yeah.
For business, 203 would be better for as far as the material. But I will tell you, most students prefer 204, mainly because it depends on the math level. For 203, you really need to know your calculus.
Okay.
For 204, depends who you take it with. If you take it with Jim Crotty, you will probably die. So.
Really?
No.
Yeah, interesting. He doesn't make his grad course mathematical, but
Oh, he doesn't?
apparently
It's
not
not
grad.
that. His class isn't that mathematical. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes you work.
Yeah.
But you really learn. I don't know, maybe.
Sorry. So, what are the exact courses, that I would have to take? Not just the number, but the name of the courses I would have to take in order to have economics as a minor under my belt.
As a minor, yeah, there is information about it on the web page.
Oh, okay.
If you go to
Thank you.
I know that 103 and 104 are
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
This
okay.
nice young person just followed me up. Like, guys, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
I do these.
Good to see you. I know. And they say, John, I have a lot of napkins. So I'm going to go back upstairs and get some more napkins.
Did you go straight from undergraduate to graduate school?
Yes.
Okay. And you worked in undergraduate. Do you, obviously you only know what you did, but I think I want to go to graduate school, but I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do with it yet. So I feel like it might be a good idea to work maybe like for the Fed or for, you know, the Bureau of Statistics. So I'm just trying to figure out like what I should, if you guys have any advice as to like, yeah, you like what you did or you didn't like it or you feel like.
I think I was looking at some statistics of ours actually, and I think the majority of people now take like 2 years off on average.
Yeah, I think most people here take years off. In Turkey, you usually go directly, like if you normally want interest in grad school, because it is usually really hard to get into a job. So people spend really a lot of time. So you can either focus on in one or the other. So and I think that it's easier if you apply right after you finish, because your knowledge to pass those tests, GRE and TOEFL, things like that, is better. So so I think you do better on those general tests if you take them now, rather than wait 2
Could I
years.
take them now and then like have
You,
them on the shelf?
they are, you know, you can use them for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, so yeah, if you work for a year and then next year if you apply, that would be fine. But yeah, I mean, maybe it can still be fine actually. Yeah, you know,
I
but
think it's better actually to wait.
I
just
think
make
he
sure-
appreciates more grad school after he works. So.
Yeah, that's my point. Sure.
I think, well, from what I've been hearing, just like from like other people from before I started college, but a lot of people have like been working. I think because if you can get a job like right after graduation, then and if you have good connections within the company, or you know, if people like you, then you know they'll be willing to help pay like any expenses for whatever grad school you go to.
That's true. I started a master's in Northeastern actually. Work was paying for it.
Why not start? I'm going to tell you about the UEC, which is the Undergraduate Economics Club here in the department. Basically, it's the student life for econ majors. If you want to do some really fun stuff in economics, if you want to get in contact with professors, if you want to, yeah. So we do games, discussions, activities. As I said, you'll be having special alumni events. Talk about the internships. There was that one thing. Also career prep. Okay. So if you want to focus on that, definitely come by. Also, just go through. Let's see, we're going to have games. We're going to try. We have a barbecue next week, and you get to see some of these. So we do things like, you get big cardboard sheets out. We make a giant board game of basically like Monopoly, but with no fixed prices.
Yeah.
So it's the prices change as part as economic conditions.
Yeah.
When you go to buy your, you can get a Monopoly on this, but really will it be worth anything? So we do behavioral econ games. One that we tried last year was you go into the meeting. It's like taking a test for a class. And here's the thing, it's based on, do you know what the prisoner's dilemma is? It's this thing in game theory, right, where it's basically, you have two people, right, and they go into, to be interviewed for a crime. You have one person, if they both flab, they both get like 5 years. But if one person flabs and the other doesn't, one person that flab will get 1 year and the other person will get 10 years. But if they both don't say anything, they get to walk away. So we get to apply this on a big scale. So you get to take these tests, right? So you go in and take the test, and then you could try this in one of your classes. It won't work, but you could try. You get everyone in the class to fail the exam. And by doing that, if everybody fails, the grades weight up. But one person gets an A, gets 100, gets a high score, you're screwed. The whole class is screwed. So we just do little games like that, and you get to try all these little different things.
Actually, I played a game like that in economics when I took a senior year.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
In high school?
Yeah.
That's cool. This will be a lot like that. So it'll be a lot. cool fun stuff. We have economic discussions. We talk about stuff happening in the department. We talk about new applications. You get to sample different economic systems. So talk about Marxism, behavioral economics, technocracy. There's a whole group of them out there. About news and events. You can talk about, we have a few policy debates. You get to pro-NAFTA, anti-NAFTA, that kind of thing. A lot of movie nights. And there are econ movies out there, believe it or not. Or maybe see if I can give you an example. I hope this works. Doesn't work on that side. That's too bad. Sorry about that. It was basically, have you seen Beautiful Mind?
No.
Yeah, well, Beautiful Mind is a movie about John Nash. He was actually one of the he spoke here a while back, and he came up with this thing called the Nash equilibrium, which was basically, it's like this thing about Adam Smith. Adam Smith said that when everyone's basically out for themselves in the group, and it would better the group, but what Nash said is everyone, says he needs revision. It wasn't quite complete because it said everyone, instead of going up for the, up for the group, you just out for yourself. You're out for yourself and what's best for the group. So, for example, this example I was going to show you, I couldn't, but what it is you have 5 girls. 5 guys are trying to, 4 guys are trying to pick up one blonde. They all try to go for the same girl. None of them will be able to get it because her friends will feel left out. But if they all try to not go for the blonde, instead go for the other 4 girls, then they all get dates, and they all win. So that was kind of the example that they used for that. So yeah, we'll do lots of fun stuff. Fight Club is another movie that we'll show. So there are a lot. We'll also relate, actually how they relate to economics.
Oh, okay. How about Wall Street?
Wall Street's a good one. That's mainly finance, though.
Oh, really?
As far as you could say, as for Wall Street, more like irrationality, corruption. You can relate that to economics. Most of the time.
All right.
But yeah, it is a good movie. Let's see. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Let's see. There's a bunch of courses. Have any of you had a statistics course? You have. All right.
Yeah.
If you want to take econometrics, and you don't want to take it at resource economics,
Yeah.
which is like a 300-person class,
Oh.
there's a special course that opened up by Professor Gibson, which is taught about 3 floors exactly below us. And it's in 620. It's 9:30, 10:45. If you go there tomorrow morning, you can take econometrics. And what I really like about this course, and I'm trying to get into it myself, I don't know if I can, but you just show up and go work out getting into it. It's either 3 or 4 credit course.
Yeah.
And basically, so instead of just doing econometrics, they take econometrics and also use economic examples. And his specialty is work with virtual simulation. So you get to see some economic things played out. So what happens if there are all of a sudden a lot more workers, a lot more births, that kind of thing. You get to kind of test that. Another course, have any of you had Econ 204? We'll skip this one. That's another course that's available. One of the things, this is one I like. We got permission this semester to start up an economics journal. I'll pass this around if anybody wants to sign it. All right. It's only 5 positions for it, but if you get 2 credits, and all you have to do is write 8 articles in relation to economics. And they could be about, it's really open. So it could be about anything that you're really interested in, as long as you can, bring the econ into it and apply that. And that's going to meet on Thursdays from 5 to 5:45 in the 840 Thompson, which is our office, the UEC office. It's really great experience, especially for adding, when you leave here, a lot of times businesses want to know, like, you could say writing your resume, oh, I have these skills, but you've come in and say, I've written for these journals and such, and bring in actual portfolio, it looks a lot better. And you actually get to, if you do that, you write 8 papers, and then November 14th, when the alumni come here, you get to make a presentation in front of the alumni, impress them, see if they'll try to get you as a physician or such. So that's good. Another course that is being offered next semester is our spring economics debate, which we're competing against the five colleges here. And it's usually a policy debate. So it's like last year we did globalism between India and China. Yeah. And India won. The India team won. These two guys here. So
Umass won?
No, last year was just UMass. So yes, UMass did win.
yeah.
It was so it's not totally. We're not totally sure if it's going to be flat colleges yet, right?
Yeah, we still have a year.
Right. So, but it was a lot of fun last year, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of work, but it was definitely worth it. Especially for the alumni part. Like we spent a whole day with them, just hanging out, talking to them, stuff like that. Just about grad school MBAs versus going straight into grad school and work and all kinds of stuff. So that was a good one.
Yeah, so this was the 10 a.m. Michael Ash is mainly going to talk about internships in the economic area here, internships that are near campus. And then the week following, on Friday, September 22nd at 11 a.m., you're going to have to check the UAC website for this, but Jeff Silver, who's from Career Services, is going to talk about all the corporate, government, other internships that are also available. So those two workshops are both for different types of internships. It's just ones, Michael Ash is going to talk about ones you can do during the year, while Jeff Silver will be talking about ones you can do basically in the summer, winter, etc. We were talking about alumni. November 14th, our Gamble lecture. The person who's going to speak is Robert Schiller. I don't know if you've read a book called Irrational Exuberance. It's a famous word coined by Alan Greenspan about the 90s inflation and about spending during the internet bubble. So that's going to be 4 to 6 at Gordon Hall. I would literally take the whole day off that day, because it's just, you'd be meeting with alumni starting early in the morning to all the way at the end. And it's do this, and there'd be food throughout the day too, so highly recommend that. We're also going to have resume workshops that are going to happen. We're going to have guest lecturers come and speak, as well as some other special events. And also, we're going to also coordinate the Michael Gexler, who could be here today, will be coordinating all the alumni shadowing. So you want to actually follow, go to alumnus work, where they work, and basically follow them through the entire day and see how they do their job. Okay. So that's a really good one. Field trips. These are pictures from our field trip last year. We went to New York. You can see we went to the one far on the left was the New York Stock Exchange. We got to actually go inside, right overlooking the floor. Got to see them ring the bell. So a lot of fun. And then another alumnus we saw was this amazing guy. His name is Anthony Gutierrez. He is a VP of Smith Barney, and he only sees people that make $100 million or more. So it was an amazing experience walking into this guy's conference room, where you have, it's just, we got wined and dined, and we're just a bunch of, students. That was that. And then one of the pictures there is where we had some free time. We went to the New York Auto Show up there, and it was tons of fun. I think one person that was there actually saw, what was his name? Charlie Murphy. Saw Charlie Murphy there, just like walking around.
If you guys seen the Chappelle Show, yeah, that would make sense.
Hey, have you seen the Lost episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. another thing we want to do this year is an internet television show, which I went on. You go on the internet and try to see a lot of the students that make little econ films. They're awful, but we could actually do something really good because we there were a bunch of ideas. It's just some fun stuff. So if you want to do that, hop by Thompson. It'll be Wednesdays 5 to 6. So that'll be important. That will actually also be featured on the journal's website. This is our barbecue. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have wings. If you guys like wings. Diane Flaherty and Norm, I was here, is also going to speak. Talk a little more about economics major. That's where most people show up for that.
And where's this going to be?
It depends. We're usually held it in the McNamara Quad, but they're doing construction there right now. So we're waiting to see if they're going to clear that or not. But it'll be around this building. So it probably will be by where the glass corridor is, where Thompson lecture halls are.
Yeah.
And that will probably be where it's going to be. And we'll be posted on the website as well. We're also on Facebook. If you guys like Facebook and you can't check the website, a lot of people are always on Facebook, so we'll all be posting stuff on there as well. But the best place to go is the website. We're taking videos. You're going to see Umass Econ videos, and we even have an economic news feed on the website, so you can just if you don't want to actually have to go to CNN Money and all those other places, get it right feed into the website, so you see that, and also a lot of pictures and things like that. So that's that. And the big thing that we're also having as part of these intro stuff that we're having for the semester is our Perry workshop. That'll be this Friday, 4 to 6 at Gordon Hall. So you need to look for a building that kind of looks like that.
Well, it's the newest building on that whole street, pretty much. So if you're going towards Amherst Center, it's on your right hand side.
Yeah. And that they'll be talking about all things you can do with economics. And they'll give a big presentation and you get a tour of the facilities. It's absolutely gorgeous, and they're doing cutting edge research. So go check that out. So that's the UEC. Anyone got any questions? And how about we have some pizza?
Yeah, how?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Are you undecided?
Luis, I know that's why you stayed.
Yeah.
We got. I think I have a science minor at the moment, so.
I'm an international relations minor.
Cool.
Ran into your sister a few times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We'll fill this out. It's
Oh, okay.
tons of fun. You too, man. Pen, you probably don't have one.
It's okay, it's
What?
gonna come.